Hi, I'm Craig Bell.
And I'm John Perkins.
John, research has showed that the most unusual places people have dozed off include 5% say they've dozed off at a wedding. 12% have dozed off at a establishment, and even 10% admit to dozing off while on the toilet. I'll tell you, I've seen people dozing off on a church pew many, many Sundays.
Yeah.
I said at the end of my sermon last Sunday, I said, please bow your heads and close your eyes. But 6 people had already beat me to it.
Food for the soul, helping you to thrive. 5 minutes to renew your mind. Take 5.
You know, John, Jesus, he got sleepy now and then too, didn't he?
Yeah.
In fact, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus dozed off at a very weird time. The Bible talks about this in 3 of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And it talks about how they were sailing across. And in Luke's version of this, it says, as they sailed, Jesus fell asleep. I don't know about you, John, but have you ever gotten sleepy driving?
Yes.
Kind of started nodding off.
Yeah.
Sun beats in through the window. You just get comfortable. And as you go, you start to just nod off a little bit. And certainly if you're in the passenger seat, it's game over, man. You know, it's like time for a nap.
Yeah.
As they're sailing along, Jesus gets sleepy. He starts to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Mark tells us he laid out on a pillow in the back of the boat in Mark's account. But however it wound up being, that's a weird place for Jesus to fall asleep in one sense of the word, because things got a little bit spooky, a little scary as they sailed.
Yeah. The Bible says it's a little ship too, so we're not talking like a big old cruise ship. I mean, it's a small ship, just probably a handful of people.
Sure, I'm picturing like a larger rowboat, of course, but larger sized. Not like he had a bed to go down to or his lower captain's quarters, nothing like that.
Yeah.
He just fell asleep on a pillow in the back of the boat.
Yeah. There wasn't a storm or nothing. I mean, everything was peaceful. Probably Jesus and his disciples probably rode on boats thousands of times.
Sure. Typical everyday thing. But as they sailed, Matthew says, there arose a great tempest. Not just a tempest in the sea, but a great tempest. So bad, the Bible says, that the ship was covered with waves, but he was still sleeping. So the thought that he would be able to sleep through that, for one thing, is just miraculous. Yeah. But these waves covering the boat, splashing in, and they're bailing water out, trying to, in a panic.
Mark chapter 4 and verse 37 says so much that the ship was now full. So, I mean, it's just not water splashing in now, but the water is in the boat. And you know what that means.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I read the stories of the Bible where I'm preaching, I try to visual it in my mind. And I can see these disciples, these people panicking, not knowing what to do, running here and running there, trying to get water out, however they can do it. Mm-hmm. And then they turn around and they see Jesus asleep.
The frustration must have been like, what's he sleeping at a time like this?
Yeah. He's the one that we need the most. He'll have some kind of idea of what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. So they went and woke him up. The Bible says they went and they awake him. And they said, Master, and they had an accusation. You don't care that we're dying.
Yeah.
Don't you care? Look at this.
Yeah, I begin to think about this. Don't you care that we're about to die? I mean, you're Jesus. You're the one that's saved lives. You're the one that people calls upon on times like this. We have you with us, and now you're asleep. You're still laying on your pillow. Don't you care about us?
Jesus gets up, and with 3 words, it's over. Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm, Mark says. But then he rebukes the disciples. He says, why are you so fearful, O ye of little faith? Matthew reports. Mark reports it. Why are you so fearful? How is it you have no faith? Yeah. Little faith, no faith? Yeah. You ain't got much. And they had so little faith that they were afraid, even though the master was right there.
And so many times in our life, Craig, when something happens, we look at Jesus and we think, well, where are you at? You're asleep. Don't you care that I'm going through this trouble? Don't you care that our family's going through this trial? Don't you care the sickness is upon us or this death is upon us? Where are you at? Why are you asleep? Don't you care? Mm-hmm. But then when Jesus adds them words, peace be still, and it just calms down. Their fear is calm. The rain is calm. The wind's calm. Everything's just peaceful.
And it actually shifted from the fear of the storm, verse 41 in Mark chapter 4, to the fear of the master, because they feared exceedingly and said one to another, after the storm had calmed, What manner of man is this that even the wind and the sea obey him? Their focus shifted from this storm's going to take us down to, whoa, this Jesus is something else. you
Yeah.
know?